When we look in the mirror, what we often see is a reflection shaped by time, stress, and the countless small habits that define our daily life. Lines around the eyes, tension in the jaw, sagging around the cheeks, these are all signs not of weakness, but of living fully. Yet imagine if you could reset that appearance in just a few minutes, simply by reconnecting with your face in a mindful, intentional way. That's the power of gentle tapping, a technique that combines physiology, mindfulness, and circulation to rejuvenate your skin and energize your expression. Every day, the human face endures a silent battle. Expressions, tension, and gravity subtly reshape the delicate muscles beneath the skin. Over years, these changes accumulate. But your face is not a static canvas, it's a living landscape, responsive to touch, movement, and blood flow. By engaging this landscape correctly, you can awaken its natural vitality. Tapping is not just about beauty, it's about signaling to your nervous system, your muscles, and your circulation that it's time to restore, to wake up, to glow. When you begin tapping, you activate small pressure points that have been used in ancient therapies for centuries. These points stimulate microcirculation, bringing fresh blood to areas that may have been deprived of nutrients due to tension or stress. Think of it as waking up the underlying system that supports your skin. When blood rushes to the surface, cells receive oxygen and nutrients more effectively while waste products are gently carried away. This alone can create an almost immediate sense of vitality in the face. But tapping is not random. It follows the natural architecture of the face. Start at the forehead, using gentle taps along the brow line and across the temples. These are areas where stress and worry tend to accumulate. Even a few moments here can release tension, smooth expression lines, and send a subtle signal to the nervous system that relaxation is allowed. Move down to the cheeks and under the eyes using light, rhythmic taps. Here, the skin is thin, delicate, and responsive. Gentle stimulation encourages lymphatic flow, reducing puffiness and encouraging a lifted, rested appearance. The jawline and chin respond beautifully to consistent tapping, as these are areas prone to stress holding and muscular tightness. By releasing tension here, you instantly create a sense of openness, a rejuvenation that shows not just on the skin, but in the energy you project. As you tap, pay attention to the rhythm. It should be steady but not forceful, almost like a heartbeat. The body responds to rhythm in profound ways. A calm, repeated tapping pattern sends signals to your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest, repair, and restoration. You may notice that as your face loosens, your shoulders drop, your breathing deepens, and even your mood lifts. This is not cosmetic trickery. This is your body realigning itself, rediscovering a natural equilibrium that supports both youthfulness and confidence. What makes this method extraordinary is its accessibility. You do not need expensive equipment or invasive procedures. Your hands are precise, adaptable, and perfectly calibrated for this task. Consistency amplifies results. A few minutes every day, combined with mindfulness and intention, can create changes that look effortless and natural. It is the act of touching your face not with pressure, but with awareness that transforms the experience from a simple routine into a rejuvenating ritual. There is a psychological component as well. When you intentionally care for your face, you reinforce self-respect, presence, and the recognition that your well-being is a priority. Tapping is a tangible act of self-care, reminding you that you are worth the time and attention required to feel vibrant. People often underestimate how much emotional energy is stored in the face. Stress, worry, and fatigue are carried there in subtle micro-expressions. By tapping and awakening these areas, you release not just physical tension, but emotional weight as well. Your reflection begins to mirror the renewed energy within you. From a scientific perspective, the benefits are compelling. Increased circulation delivers oxygen, enhances collagen production, and supports cellular repair. The lymphatic system, often underappreciated, is stimulated, helping reduce fluid retention and puffiness. Muscles are gently activated, creating a subtle lift and a more defined structure. Even short sessions of mindful tapping have been shown to influence the autonomic nervous system, shifting the body toward balance, calm, and rejuvenation. As you continue this practice, notice the way your face responds to different techniques. Some areas may feel more sensitive, indicating tension held for years without conscious awareness. Others may feel invigorated, almost energized, as circulation increases. Adjusting your approach, staying present, and observing changes over time transforms this from a mechanical routine into a dialogue with your own body. You are learning to read its signals, respond thoughtfully, and nurture vitality from within. This method also connects mind and body in ways that few other interventions do. While creams, serums, and external treatments may provide surface-level improvements, tapping engages the deeper systems that actually create youthful appearance. It reminds the body of its natural rhythm and capacity for repair. It reinforces awareness of posture, tension, and expression, which translates into a more relaxed, confident, and approachable presence. People do not just see the effects, they feel them in your energy, the way you carry yourself, and the subtle expressions that communicate youthfulness without effort. The beauty of this technique lies in its integration into daily life. You can tap while listening to music, preparing for work, or winding down before bed. Each session is an investment in not only appearance but overall well-being. Over time, these small moments accumulate, producing a face that reflects vitality, calm, and confidence. There is a profound sense of empowerment in knowing that such meaningful change is within your control, using nothing more than your own hands and attention. And as with any skill worth mastering, patience and consistency are key. The most dramatic results do not come from a single session, but from the commitment to show up every day. Each tap is a conversation with your body, a signal that you respect its needs, and a reminder that transformation is available in the small, intentional choices made consistently over time. This is not about perfection. It is about awakening potential, reclaiming vitality, and expressing the best version of yourself through your most visible canvas, your face. Even a few minutes of tapping each day can spark subtle, noticeable changes. Skin appears brighter, tension fades, puffiness reduces, and your features feel more alive. Beyond aesthetics, your mood improves, stress diminishes, and your sense of control of your own well-being grows. The face becomes a mirror not just of age, but of energy, mindfulness, and intentional living. When approached with presence, tapping transforms into a holistic practice that bridges beauty, health, and mindfulness. It is a tool for self-expression, vitality, and self-respect. Each session is a reminder that rejuvenation is accessible, that aging can be graceful, and that true radiance comes from alignment between mind, body, and intention. By simply tapping your face, you send a powerful signal. You are aware, you are active, and you are investing in yourself. Through this simple, intentional practice, you begin to notice something remarkable. The connection between how you feel and how you look becomes undeniable. Energy, mood, and confidence are reflected in your features. The subtle lift in the cheeks, the brightening around the eyes, the softening of tension will reinforce the reality that you are capable of influencing your own appearance and presence in ways that are tangible, immediate, and empowering. The human face is far more than just a feature of appearance. It is a dynamic, living landscape, constantly shifting and responding to both internal and external influences. Every emotion we experience, every tension we carry, and every expression we make leaves subtle imprints on this landscape. Over time, stress, gravity, and repetitive facial movements create lines, sagging, and uneven textures. These changes are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of a life fully lived, but they are also signals that the body can respond to, that the face can be awakened and revitalized through simple, intentional practices. One of the most powerful tools to achieve this is the art of tapping, a technique that activates the underlying muscles, improves circulation, and stimulates the skin in ways that can produce visible rejuvenation in a remarkably short period. Tapping is both gentle and precise. It does not rely on force or external devices. Instead, it harnesses the innate responsiveness of the human body. The skin, muscles, and connective tissue of the face are remarkably adaptive. When they are engaged with consistent, rhythmic stimulation, the result is not only cosmetic improvement, but also a deeper sense of vitality that radiates from within. The process begins with awareness. Before any tapping takes place, one must reconnect with the face as a living system. Most people interact with their faces mechanically, whether through washing, applying creams, or shaving, without truly noticing how their muscles and skin respond. By paying attention to the contours, tension points, and sensitive areas, you set the stage for meaningful change. Tapping is not random. It follows the natural architecture of the face, starting at the forehead. Gentle taps along the brow line and temples release tension that often accumulates there due to stress or mental fatigue. These areas are home to muscles that hold worry and concentration, and by activating them through tapping, you increase microcirculation, delivering oxygen and nutrients precisely where they are needed. This alone creates an immediate sense of alertness and subtle lifting, smoothing the lines formed by habitual expressions over the years. Moving downward, the cheeks and under eye areas respond profoundly to light, rhythmic taps. The skin in these regions is thin and delicate, highly sensitive to both touch and circulation. By stimulating these zones, you enhance lymphatic drainage, reducing puffiness and promoting a healthier, more rested appearance. The cheeks in particular are crucial for conveying vitality. A lifted, well-circulated cheek area signals energy, health, and youthfulness. When tapped correctly, these muscles are gently activated, creating a natural tone and structure that lifts the entire face. This is not about creating tension or artificial firmness. It is about awakening the natural potential of the underlying tissue. Each tap encourages the face to respond, to flow with energy, and to reflect the renewed vitality coursing through it. The jawline and chin are often overlooked, yet these areas carry significant tension that affects both appearance and overall facial harmony. Stress, teeth clenching, and habitual expressions can create rigidity in these regions. Tapping along the jawline releases this tension while simultaneously engaging the muscles in a subtle workout that lifts and defines. As the jaw softens and the muscles respond, the entire face appears more open, approachable, and energized. The simple act of tapping these regions creates a profound visual effect, giving the impression of alertness, confidence, and youthfulness without any external intervention. Rhythm is essential to the practice. A steady, measured tapping pattern, akin to a heartbeat, sends clear signals to the nervous system, particularly the parasympathetic branch responsible for relaxation and repair. This rhythmic stimulation is not merely cosmetic. It initiates a physiological cascade that enhances circulation, supports tissue repair, and calms the body. With every tap, the face responds, awakening from habitual tension, reconnecting with its natural vitality. Over time, the body begins to recognize these patterns, responding with improved blood flow, increased cellular activity, and subtle, yet powerful, changes in tone and texture. The transformative power of tapping lies in its accessibility and intentionality. No expensive devices, no invasive procedures, no complicated regimens are required. The hands themselves, with careful attention and gentle force, are perfectly calibrated tools capable of producing profound effects. Engaging in this practice consistently amplifies the benefits. A few minutes each day, repeated over weeks and months, results in a face that appears naturally lifted, brightened, and more resilient. It is a tangible demonstration of the body's responsiveness when treated with awareness, care, and intention. Beyond the physical benefits, tapping the face strengthens the connection between mind and body. By intentionally engaging with the face, one fosters a sense of presence and self-awareness. This awareness reduces unconscious tension, releases stored stress, and encourages the nervous system to enter a state of calm repair. The act of caring for the face becomes a form of self-respect, signaling to the body and mind that attention, intention, and energy are being invested in one's well-being. The external results are visible, but the internal effects, calm, clarity, and renewed energy are equally important. Tapping also reinforces the principle that small, consistent actions can produce significant transformation. Each gentle tap might seem inconsequential on its own, yet when combined into a deliberate, repeated practice, the cumulative effect is extraordinary. Facial muscles awaken, circulation improves, and the skin begins to reflect the vitality flowing beneath it. The face becomes a mirror not only of youthful appearance, but of intentional living, of mindfulness applied in action, and of respect for the natural systems that support health, beauty, and energy. As tapping engages muscles and circulation, it also fosters a deeper understanding of one's own body. Sensitivity to tension, responsiveness to touch, and awareness of circulation develop over time, allowing for refinement of technique and maximization of results. The face becomes a landscape to be read, understood, and nurtured. Each session is a dialogue with the self, a moment to observe, respond, and guide the body toward its optimal state. In this sense, tapping transcends mere physical appearance. It becomes a form of active care, a practice of self-awareness, and a conduit for personal empowerment. The immediate benefits are apparent within minutes. The skin feels refreshed, The muscles loosen and subtle lifts can be observed. Over the longer term, consistent tapping produces more pronounced effects, improved muscle tone, enhanced circulation, reduced puffiness, and an overall appearance of energy and vitality. These changes reflect a deeper truth. The body, when engaged with intention and care, responds with resilience, renewal, and natural beauty. Through tapping, you learn that rejuvenation is not something granted externally, it is activated from within. Your hands, your attention, and your consistency become the instruments of transformation, proving that even small, deliberate actions can have a profound impact. The face, often seen as merely an indicator of age, becomes a living testament to the body's responsiveness and capacity for renewal. Each tap reinforces vitality, awakens muscles, and promotes circulation, creating a natural, radiant expression that reflects both youth and energy. Tapping your face is not merely a physical action. It is a practice of presence, an exercise in mindfulness, and a deliberate form of self-care that bridges the gap between appearance and inner well-being. When you approach your face with attention and intention, you are signaling to your body that it is valued, that the systems which sustain vitality are worthy of care, and that the energy you invest in yourself matters. Most people touch their faces unconsciously, whether through habitual rubbing, tension relief, or fleeting gestures, but this contact rarely engages the face in a meaningful, restorative way. Mindful tapping transforms the simple act of touching your skin into a dialogue, a moment of awareness in which you consciously activate circulation, release tension, and communicate with the body's natural mechanisms of renewal. Mindfulness in this context is not a separate practice, it is woven into every motion. Each tap becomes a point of focus, a connection between intention and action, mind and body. By observing the texture, temperature, and responsiveness of your skin, you engage sensory awareness that enhances the effectiveness of the technique. The face, when approached with this attention, responds not only to mechanical stimulation, but to the conscious presence of your mind. You begin to notice areas of tension that had gone unnoticed, micro-expressions shaped by stress or habitual posture, and subtle asymmetries that can be addressed over time. This awareness cultivates a deeper understanding of your own body, teaching you how to respond with precision and care, and reinforcing a sense of personal responsibility for your well-being. The act of mindful tapping is closely tied to emotional regulation. Stress, anxiety, and tension are stored not only in the mind, but in the muscles of the face, particularly in areas such as the forehead, jawline, and around the eyes. These muscles contract in response to worry, frustration, and fatigue, creating lines and tension patterns that are visible even in subtle expressions. By engaging in rhythmic, deliberate tapping, you communicate a message to the nervous system. It is safe to release tension, to enter a state of rest and repair. This stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, enhancing relaxation, improving blood flow, and encouraging the production of endorphins, the body's natural mood regulators. The result is a dual effect. The face appears more relaxed and youthful, and the mind experiences a sense of calm, focus, and balance. Self-care is central to the transformative power of mindful tapping. In a world that often prioritizes productivity over presence, dedicating intentional time to your face is a radical act of self-respect. It affirms that your well-being is important and that small, consistent actions can create meaningful results. This practice is not about vanity, it is about acknowledging the interconnectedness of physical appearance, mental clarity, and emotional balance. When you care for your face with purpose, you are nurturing the very systems that influence how you are perceived and how you feel. Each session of tapping becomes a ritual of empowerment, reinforcing the principle that self-investment yields both tangible and intangible rewards. The subtlety of this approach is key. Mindful tapping is not forceful or aggressive. It is gentle, deliberate, and measured. It is about communicating with your body, not imposing upon it. The rhythm of the taps is like a heartbeat, steady and consistent, which encourages the muscles to respond naturally and the nervous system to enter a restorative state. By paying attention to the quality of each touch, the pressure, the speed, the placement, you maximize the benefits while cultivating a deeper connection with your own physiology. This is what distinguishes mindful tapping from casual or mechanical facial routines. It is not just the movement, but the consciousness behind it that transforms the experience into a rejuvenating practice. Beyond the physical benefits, mindfulness in facial tapping fosters emotional resilience. The face is often the first area to betray stress, fatigue, and emotional strain. Microtensions around the eyes, mouth, and forehead communicate feelings to both ourselves and others. When we engage in mindful tapping, we are releasing not only physical tension, but the subtle emotional imprints that accumulate over time. This practice teaches the body and mind that tension is not permanent, that it can be observed, acknowledged, and released. In doing so, we reclaim control over our expression, our presence, and our energy, which reflects outwardly in a more youthful, calm, and confident appearance. Consistency reinforces the psychological effects of mindful tapping. When performed regularly, the practice becomes a meditative ritual, a moment of pause in the busyness of daily life. Each session strengthens neural pathways associated with awareness, relaxation, and positive body communication. The face begins to respond more readily, the muscles relax more easily, and the skin appears brighter and more energized. Over time, the combination of tactile stimulation, emotional release, and conscious attention produces a cumulative effect that extends beyond the mirror. It becomes a manifestation of internal balance, confidence, and vitality that is visible to others. Mindful tapping also enhances your perception of personal agency. In an era where so much of appearance and youthfulness is marketed as something that must be purchased or achieved externally, tapping reminds you that profound change is accessible through your own hands and attention. You are not waiting for a procedure, a cream, or a device to restore vitality. You are actively engaging the body's natural systems, stimulating circulation, and releasing tension in a controlled, conscious manner. This fosters empowerment, self-trust, and an enduring sense of capability that transcends the cosmetic results alone. Finally, mindful tapping encourages an integrated understanding of well-being. It reinforces the idea that beauty, youthfulness, and energy are reflections of internal harmony. By combining touch with attention, you nurture both the physical and mental aspects of your body, creating a holistic effect that is not superficial but deeply restorative. The rhythm, pressure, and intention behind each tap cultivate a balance between body, mind, and emotional state, resulting in a face that radiates calm, energy, and resilience. The benefits are immediate and cumulative. Subtle lifting, enhanced brightness, reduced tension, and a renewed sense of presence are apparent after just a few minutes, while long-term dedication fosters lasting transformation in tone, texture, and vitality. Through mindful, intentional tapping, you learn that self-care is not a luxury, it is a responsibility. The connection between attention and transformation becomes undeniable. You recognize that youthfulness, energy, and confidence are accessible not through external shortcuts alone, but through practices that awaken your body, release stored tension, and reinforce presence. Each tap is a message, a signal to the muscles, skin, and nervous system that they are capable of renewal, that they are worthy of attention, and that your energy, care, and mindfulness are forces that shape not only your appearance, but your overall sense of vitality. A true power of tapping your face lies not in a single session or in an occasional moment of attention, but in the commitment to consistency and the deliberate intention behind every touch. Transformation, whether the body, mind, or appearance, is rarely the result of isolated efforts. It emerges from repeated actions that over time compound into significant and lasting change. When you engage in mindful tapping every day, you create a rhythm in your life that aligns with the natural restorative processes of your body. You are no longer a passive observer of your own appearance. You become an active participant in shaping it, communicating with your muscles, skin, and nervous system in a way that signals vitality, awareness, and care. Each session reinforces this connection, strengthening the pathways that enable the body to respond more effectively, and cultivating habits that extend beyond the face itself into posture, expression, and presence. Consistency creates a feedback loop of positive change. When performed regularly, tapping awakens the small, often overlooked muscles of the face, increasing tone and firmness gradually. This is not a matter of forcing results, but of gently encouraging the body to remember its capacity for lift, flexibility, and responsiveness. Just as physical training shapes the body over weeks and months, regular facial tapping strengthens the underlying structures that support youthfulness. Over time, The muscles become more resilient, the skin more responsive, and the face more naturally aligned with the energy and vitality you cultivate within. The results may start subtly, slightly lifted cheeks, reduced tension around the eyes, a softening in the jawline, but with repetition. These small improvements accumulate into noticeable, lasting transformation that is both visible and felt. Intentionality amplifies the impact of consistency. Tapping with purpose, rather than as a mechanical routine, signals to the body that each movement matters. This attention engages the nervous system, encourages optimal circulation, and fosters awareness of areas of tension or stagnation. By tuning into how the face responds where pressure is most needed, which areas feel tight, and which muscles awaken more readily, you refine your practice, making it more effective with each session. Intentional tapping also communicates respect and care to your own body. In a society that often prioritizes external solutions and instant results, this deliberate, hands-on approach empowers you to take responsibility for your appearance, well-being, and overall energy. The message is clear. Transformation is not imposed from the outside. It is cultivated from within through conscious, repeated effort. Consistency and intention also foster a sense of presence that extends beyond the mirror. As you make tapping a daily ritual, it becomes a moment of mindfulness that grounds you, bringing attention to your body, breath, and energy. These moments accumulate into a broader habit of self-awareness, allowing you to notice subtle changes in posture, expression, and emotional state. The calm focus developed through regular practice not only enhances the physical results, but also shapes the way you carry yourself throughout the day. People respond to energy as much as they respond to appearance, and a consistent, intentional practice cultivates an aura of confidence, vitality, and ease that radiates from your face and body simultaneously. The long-term benefits of consistent, intentional tapping extend into health, emotional regulation, and resilience. When muscles are regularly stimulated and tension is released, circulation improves, lymphatic flow is supported, and cellular repair is encouraged. These physiological effects contribute to a healthier complexion, reduced puffiness, and a natural glow, but they also influence how you feel internally. The parasympathetic nervous system, activated through gentle, repeated stimulation, fosters relaxation, lowers stress hormone levels, and supports recovery from the daily challenges that inevitably leave traces on both mind and body. Each session becomes a reinforcement of balance and renewal, a daily act of investment in yourself that compounds into long-term resilience and vitality. Consistency teaches patience and respect for natural processes. Unlike rapid, invasive interventions that may provide immediate results but often disrupt the body's equilibrium, tapping relies on incremental improvement and mindful engagement. Each tap is a signal to the body to respond according to its own rhythm, to awaken latent energy, and to restore structure and tone and harmony with natural systems. Over time, this consistent practice retrains not just the facial muscles, but the mind as well, cultivating an understanding that transformation is a process, a journey that requires attention, patience, and care. It is through these repeated, intentional actions that real, lasting change emerges, creating a face and a presence that reflect both effort and grace. The cumulative effect of consistent tapping also reinforces confidence and empowerment. When you witness the subtle improvements that occur over days, weeks, and months, the brightening of the eyes, the gentle lift of the cheeks, the easing of tension in the jaw, you internalize a powerful lesson. You are capable of influencing your own appearance, energy, and presence through deliberate action. This knowledge transfers into other areas of life. The discipline, awareness, and responsibility cultivated through daily practice inform posture, expression, and communication, enhancing your ability to present yourself with confidence and authenticity. Transformation is no longer a matter of chance. It becomes an intentional, controllable outcome. Consistency paired with intention creates a feedback loop in which the body, mind, and energy reinforce each other. As muscles awaken and circulation improves, the mind becomes calmer, more focused, and more present. As mindfulness deepens, the nervous system responds with reduced stress, improved emotional regulation, and increased receptivity to subtle cues of tension and relaxation. The face, in turn, reflects these changes, producing a natural appearance of youthfulness, energy, and vitality. This holistic interaction demonstrates that consistent, Intentional tapping is far more than a cosmetic technique. It is a practice that integrates body, mind, and energy into a unified expression of well-being and presence through dedication. To regular practice, you begin to observe changes that go beyond the superficial. The face no longer simply mirrors age or fatigue. It mirrors vitality, presence, and intentional care. Each session is a reaffirmation of your capacity to influence your own appearance and energy, a daily commitment to self-care that compounds into long-term transformation by showing up consistently with mindful intention. You cultivate muscles, circulation, and nervous system responses that reinforce the youthful expression, the confidence, and the resilience that define not just the appearance, but the essence of vitality as we reflect on the journey of tapping your face to awaken youthfulness. It becomes clear that the results are not simply about appearance, they are about reclaiming control over your body, your energy, and your presence. By activating your facial muscles and circulation, you invite vitality and radiance that show immediately, reminding you of the body, its remarkable ability to respond and rejuvenate. When paired with mindfulness and self-care, each touch becomes an act of intention, a statement that your well-being matters, and that the energy you invest in yourself is never wasted. This is not a fleeting ritual, it is a daily dialogue with your body, a conversation that releases tension, reduces stress, and reconnects you to the natural rhythm of renewal that exists within you. Consistency amplifies these benefits exponentially. Every tap, every intentional session compounds over time to create lasting transformation. The small, deliberate actions that may seem subtle today are the foundation for the profound results you will notice tomorrow and every day after. Youthfulness is not an external gift, it is a reflection of awareness, dedication, and the choices you make to honor your body. The face becomes a mirror of your commitment, your energy, and your intention, radiating calm, confidence, and vitality to everyone who sees it. The power of this practice is that it extends beyond the surface. As you engage in mindful, consistent tapping, you cultivate emotional resilience, strengthen presence, and reinforce the connection between mind and body. You learn that self-care is not indulgence but responsibility, and that small, intentional actions, when repeated over time, produce results far greater than anything achieved through shortcuts or external treatments. This practice is a reminder that transformation is always within reach, accessible to anyone willing to show up with attention, intention, and consistency. So take a moment today, place your hands on your face and tap with awareness. Activate the muscles, stimulate the circulation, and send a message to your nervous system that it is time to restore, energize, and renew. With mindfulness, dedication, and consistency, you can awaken the natural vitality of your face, radiate confidence, and embrace a youthful energy that comes not just from your appearance, but from the harmony you cultivate within yourself. Your face, your energy, and your presence are powerful tools. Use them intentionally and watch as the transformation you create ripples through every aspect of your life. The power to look younger, feel vibrant, and radiate confidence has always been in your own hands, literally, and today is the day to start.